morning.
Morning, how are you? I don't have too much, but I just want to see your wonderful faces and send my love.
Great. I appreciate that. Hello, Shanti. Haven't seen you in a while as well either. Thanks for joining this morning.
Thank you. I'm glad I could get a chance to finally join. I'm usually just crazy hectic at this time, so I'm really happy to get on today.
What's changed? Why is today open for you?
I'm in the UK at the moment, and
different time zone.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. What's how long are you going to be in Europe?
Probably till at least late autumn, maybe till beginning next year. Yeah, see what transpires with the visa.
Are you going out to Ibiza?
No, with the visa. I'm
applying with the visa. Visa, not Ibiza. Everybody goes to Ibiza this time of year, you know. So
I wish that'd be nice.
Yeah.
I have done in the past.
Okay, yeah.
Those were the days.
It's just actually checking in on all that. So yeah, so today, hello Nico. Glad for joining. Hello Hizer. And Shanti, so let me ask you this. So this is our Thursday calls. This is where we have our community join, and I usually have a topic prepared, but I'm curious, you know, what kind of things you've had you received your V.I.B.E, right?
That's right. Yeah, got the 3.2.
Yeah. How's it? Do you have it with you in the UK?
I don't. It's at my center in Georgia, USA.
Is anybody utilizing it there while you're gone?
Oh yeah, it's all set up in the center. So I only got a chance to have a couple of sessions on it before I left. But people are loving it. So we did a July the 4th special where we did free 20-minute sessions for people, and they really liked it and came back.
How many people did you put through during July? Like in the special?
In special, just about 5 or 6.
Okay. So I really would love to utilize like the impact of it. People love it, okay, because people are going to be feeling the vibe, and this are some of the conversations that we've been, you know, having conversations about like full utilization of this technology. And on one aspect, you know, there's something about the light. I'm trying to find good light here. There's one aspect here. That's what look at Phil.
Cool.
Excellent.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Christmas present from my man Phil right here today.
Well, you're very welcome. Glad you're wearing it and you still love it.
Yeah. But we're talking about the vibe and utilization of the technology, because there's one aspect. First of all, number one, 100% of your clients will feel the vibe. They're going to have an undeniable kinesthetic physical experience. 100% of your clientele. That is a great thing in and of itself, because especially work-wise, I know Shanti specifically in your practice, because I know I met you at the IMATE conference. So, you know, we have this bioresonance, and remember, the cornerstone of my entire clinical practice was subtle energy techniques and technologies. So we all know the benefit of these techniques, and technologies, whether you're using a biofeedback machine, bioresonance machine, muscle testing, kinesiology, whatever it's going to be. We do these things because we know that it works and we see the results. That being said, not everybody feels the experience, but they receive the benefits, and that's why they keep coming back, and that's why we're doing it. And it's Star Trek technology. It's a zip, you know, doing, oh wow, I'm better, you know, it's amazing. However, we live in a time when people are into having experiences, and if we're looking at like what other kind of experiences, I mean, let's just go through the biohacking space, like what's hyperbaric chambers, infrared saunas, red light therapy, cold plunges. That's just to say, just the kind of the top, I think, like, you know, the top things that are popular right now, right? And yes, you're going to experience with a cold plunge, but you got to get out of your clothes, you got to get wet, you got to like psych yourself up, you got to sit in there like, when is this 3 minutes going to be up? And then, you know, move into in that space. Then, you know, obviously with red light, we're talking about the exposure of getting like, but you can feel like maybe you feel the heat off of that, and you can obviously see the colors, but like what benefits are you experiencing from that particularly as well too? Infrared saunas, you are, infrared saunas, you're going to getting into one of those, you know, enclosing yourself inside of the sauna or inside of it fully. And once again, different kind of experience. But or hyperbaric chambers, you're going to be inside of a compressed chamber that a lot of times people can feel claustrophobic in. They're very costly to purchase, and they actually require a lot of sessions to utilize them for deep chronic conditions. And that leaves us with the V.I.B.E. And here's something that costs, you know, $5,000 to $6,000. You're in open air, so you're not feeling claustrophobic. Even though we've had people experience claustrophobic, but just by putting the eye pillow over their eyes, people that have that level of sensitivity are definitely not able to go inside of a hyperbaric chamber if they're having a claustrophobic experience just by putting on an eye pillow. Same with an infrared sauna. Same, you know, with really a lot of these modalities. But we've actually been able to reprogram their neurology to not have claustrophobia just by being on the V.I.B.E. So this takes us back to our original conversation is about 100% of your clientele are going to feel, they're going to have a kinesthetic 100% experience. And you know, a lot of people have that with a massage chair. So Dr. Schwartz, what's between this and a massage chair? And first of all, I love those massage chairs. You get in those things and you start rubbing, you know, they're rubbing your butt, they're rubbing your head, like, wow, there's all kinds of stuff going on. It's an amazing feeling. Maybe you can add in some heat into that. But what's the level of therapeutics of that vibration? Like I said, and it feels nice. But besides something pushing into your skin and rhythmics and having you obviously relax and gain the benefits of a kinesthetic aspect, there's deeper levels that we're going for with the V.I.B.E. And this is really where I want to share with this kind of technology is we have specialized programs that are formulated using vibration. And why are you using vibration? Because we're plugging in directly into the fascia. We're plugging directly into the neurological aspects of our cells at the fascia level, at the living connective tissue matrix level, the primal aspects of our nervous system. And from that place, we begin to build formulations. And you know, this day and age, it's well known of frequencies. You can Google frequencies, you can research frequencies, this, that, the other thing. And I think personally, if you're taking music and you throw some brainwave states into it and you call it therapeutic music, is there benefits to having music put into theta? Of course. Is there music produced in 432 hertz? Is there benefit to that? Yes. Is there benefit in 440 music? I think so as well too. But when we can begin to formulate protocols for different physiological effects, now I believe that we're creating a whole different experience. So everybody that's going to come in, Shanti, like you were talking about, into your practice that experience the V.I.B.E, you know, they lay down like that's a great experience. I felt something. Wow, that was cool. I never experienced that before. That's interesting. Now, are they saying I had a profound physiological effect and boom, I want to sign up for a 10-pack and I want to work through my issues? And the reality of it is that if you're not getting that response, then we need to work more specifically on the protocol, on your communication of how the tech works and what it's doing. And that's really what what's important to share with each and every one of you on this call here today is talking about, you know, what are the core fundamentals of this? This is not it's not a massage chair. Is it relaxing? In fact, we were looking at some new marketing materials, and he talked about like a sonic massage, and we took out I took that out. When we really think about the core value of now in the vibroacoustic space, are people doing sonic massage? Yes. And the reality of it is, do you feel like you're getting a sonic massage on the Vibe? I think so. But is that a differentiator for Bioharmonic Technologies? And we'd prefer to focus more on clinical outcomes. One thing I really enjoyed being at the Bioresonance Symposium and meeting people like Shanti was the caliber of people that were there were at a heightened level of understanding of the power of frequencies of the body. And that's also why we sold as many vibes as we did, because we're talking to a group of people that understand what's possible with this work. And even in terms of, I've been working with my iMate, and I've been working with advanced conditions since the symposium, which has been crazy what's opened up for me in that regards. However, what we're finding is that a lot of our new customers with the iMates are having great results with the V.I.B.E.S because we're able to have this kinesthetic physical experience that has pre-programmed protocols in the music. And some of the experiences that I've been having, and listen, this is nothing against subtle energy, because like I said, I've worked with it for many years, and we see the benefits, and it's my preference to utilize this kind of technology. But sometimes to the uneducated person receiving it, they're like, well, what do you mean? I'm not like plugged into anything. I'm not feeling anything. Like what? That's the whole session. Like that's it. You see a bunch of, some buttons. You push some buttons, and I'm healed. Like people's conscious mind might have a hard time wrapping their mind around what's happening, which is unfortunate because sometimes their own mind short circuits the healing, which is unfortunate. I can share many stories of people that they literally come in and tell me these kind of mystical reasons of why they ended up in my waiting room. And just personally, I'm receiving the download of the guidance of them being there. And I'm like, okay, let's get to work. And then they short circuit their own process that brought them into my clinic in the first place by getting wrapped up in their own conscious mind, or maybe subconscious programming that just can't get around a couple of ideas, but they're not letting the healing happen. That's something that was always very frustrating for me as a practitioner, and thankfully that was not, I think as practitioners we tend to kind of focus sometimes on that 1% or that 10% of the people that might not be getting these amazing results in your practice, instead of really looking at the other 90% or maybe 99% or 95% of the people that are really getting the benefits. And on one end, I think that's good because it strives you to always improve upon that small percentage of people. But I think we also lose track of the forest through the trees of what's possible, and why we're getting such good results with what we're doing, comparatively speaking to other things such as allopathic medicine and things like that. So I'm going to talk a little bit more of that in just a little bit, but I want to stay on track with what we're talking about now. So these specialized formulations that we're utilizing, not all sound therapy is the same. Now, I know that there is benefit. There's benefit to all therapeutic sound. There's benefit to listening to somebody with theta. It's going to entrain your brain, it's going to entrain your body to theta, and if your body is in that frequency range, you're going to have a relaxed kind of meditative state. And pick your brainwave, it's going to happen, just if you're playing those frequencies. You guys know this, just I'm going to diverge slightly, so bear with me, but it's on the same topic. I'm here in California, I'm here in Los Angeles, I'm here in Marina del Rey, and I'm not sure if you're aware, but they had that earthquake in Russia, and they said there was going to be a tsunami that was going to hit Hawaii, and there was like a tsunami watch here on the Southern California coast on the day that I was actually supposed to be arriving here. And I'm like, great, like, do I really want to get wrapped up in this in this thing. And so it's making me think a lot about, because, I live in Tulum, I live on the ocean, and I'm always staring at the way that the waves are rolling in. And, when we're looking at the waves in the ocean, we're looking at peak to peak. We look at the intervals between these waves, and we look at them and we start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however long the space is between wave to wave. These are waves. These are frequencies. These are essentially, when you were looking at our waves, usually they're operating typical ocean somewhere in that alpha to theta brainwave state. That's why being at the ocean is so meditative. Just by being there, receiving the energy, you're literally entraining your body to these brainwaves. Do you guys know that? No. Okay, wow, okay. See, I just thought that was all just common knowledge. So I'm glad I could share that with you. So next time that you're at a body of water, just take a good look at the water, because remember, we are water. We are cymatics. We are all these aspects. So when we're looking, if you're on the coast and you're looking at waves coming in, just begin to count between the waves. How much time comes from point A to point B? 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it is. Usually anywhere. I mean, let's put it this way. What happens with a tsunami? I mean, how big are these waves? What's the time interval from wave to wave, and what's the size of the wave? So now you're getting impact, size, you're getting how much power is that delivering to you. And when we see these huge, massive waves, there is a long duration from wave to wave, but it's increasing the energy. So all of that is impacting your energy field. And picture being a surfer on some big wave like coming down, or the power that you're getting in these tsunamis, in these massive tidal waves that can come in and really displace homes and pull them off that's the power of these waves, versus something like in Tulum where it's super chill for the most part, or even here, just, in Southern California, you can have some pretty chill waves. Well, I guess it depends where, I don't want to get sidetracked, but I've been in some pretty intense waves here, actually, between San Diego and Los Angeles over the years. But I invite you to do that experiment and see how you feel. Because when you're there in a really chaotic ocean, or wherever there's a lot of wind and a lot of just chaotic breaks with what's rhythmic with the water, you get to see it's going to create chaos in your nervous system. So it's a good example of frequencies. But getting back to what we're saying, there's other ingredients that go into therapeutics. We work a lot with sacred geometry that can be embedded into music, which in my personal opinion, I think is an important aspect of how to influence our nervous system, because it's like neurolinguistic programming. So who's familiar with NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, here in group? Okay, Shanti and Phil. I'm sure Fabiola is here as well too. Jamie, or you can feel free. Where's my chat? There we go. Feel free to place in the chat. There you go. And so I'm certified in neuro-linguistic programming, have been for over 20 years. And, I just remember always saying to myself, why is it we always have to bring this stuff up to consciousness when we really don't even know what it is we're reprogramming in the first place? Like, we have an idea, we know we're feeling a certain way, we know that we might be experiencing something, we're taking some hunches to the root cause. Maybe we start regressing people into a hypnotic state and they start getting these recollections of things that's gone. Is that real? Is it not real? I don't know. But what I do know is that we can reprogram the subconscious, and we can do it through activities with the brain, neurological linguistics, the way that we speak, and reprogramming the body. But those same principles apply through our entire neurological system, which you hear me talk about all the time. It's more than just the brain. The brain is simply the relay station. It's kind of the one aspect that we use for rational thought, the aspect we think for keeping us safe, the aspects that we think about regulating our biochemistry, through different glands in our brain, in different regions of our brain. All very important, but really all the input is coming in from our environment. And this is where the VIBE system is so important, because we are able to deliver and really control the vibration and input in your entire body. And the concept of the concept of systemic activation is really important. Now, from a portability perspective, you have headphones, you have a little, you have your phone with some music on it, and you're listening. Is that going to work? Yes, that will take you places for sure. But if you have the opportunity to amplify that process through your body on a full level, activated spectrum of being, it amplifies the effects at a much deeper level. And that's honestly why I'm working in the vibroacoustic space to begin with. I know Phil's read my book.
Oh, yeah.
Was that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Shanti, I'm not sure if you had an opportunity to read my book.
Not yet. I'd like to.
Well, you have a digital copy on your tablet, which you don't actually have with you. It's in, if you want to pick up a copy, it's on Amazon Primal Resonance. And actually, there's an audiobook version that's out now. I invite you to download it and have a listen. But the whole foundation of this book is based off of chronic systemic inflammation. Chronic systemic system, full body, widespread. And when we're looking at that, it's more than just like I have pain in my knee, I have pain in my back, I have pain in my shoulder. Now, you can have chronic, I don't think I finished what I was going to say. Chronic systemic inflammation. I didn't say the third word. Chronic systemic inflammation. And the process of inflammation is an elevated aspect of our immune system, of our white blood cells, that's developed through our bone marrow and through our spleen. And it's natural and it's healthy and it's normal to, if you have some kind of foreign invader, an infection, some kind of trauma, you need some healing, whether it be a physical trauma or something like that, your body naturally, which is really amazing. Dude, it's really incredible. It's an incredible process. You cut yourself, you have an injury, you have something like that. Your body says, you got dysregulated. Here's a sensation, and it's on a scale of 1 to whatever, 10. Bring it up to consciousness. Maybe there's a rip in your skin, and all of a sudden your body begins to regenerate. Do you ever think about that? Dude, what do? We get a cut on our hand, and naturally, without anything, your body begins to approximate the edges and begins to lay down materials inside and begin to heal an injury in our bodies. That's natural, with doing nothing. That's amazing. Now, the way they do that is through your white blood cells, through your immune system. And it's natural and it's healthy and it's safe. And it should be instantaneous, or at least the process of healing begins instantaneously, and then it can take, depending on the severity of the injury, X amount of time. But then when it's done, it should stop. Okay, you're healed. Done. However, if it's not healed, or what happens if the immune system doesn't turn off? All of a sudden, that's considered autoimmune. You have an autoimmune disease. What's automatic immune disease disorder. So your immune system is automatically activated. I remember many, many years ago, dude, probably over 20 years ago, I remember going to, I don't think even WebMD is even around anymore. Does that even still exist? And I remember going to WebMD and just um, putting in like the definition of, asking what the definition of autoimmune disease is. And the definition then was for some unknown etiology. I love that word, unknown etiology. The immune system becomes hypersensitive and begins attacking itself. That was the definition of WebMD. And if we break down that definition, for some unknown etiology means for some unknown reason. It's unknown. But let's continue with the definition. The immune system becomes hypersensitive, begins attacking itself. Now, this is based off of WebMD, the medical definition of it. So what is or was the common practice of treating autoimmune diseases? Anti-inflammatories, steroids, immunosuppressive drugs. Let's suppress the immune system. Let's shut down the immune system. Let's do all those things because it's an unknown etiology, but it's automatic. It's a bad immune system. Let's suppress it. And all that does is perpetuate more disease, makes things worse, really with no results, or, symptomatic results at best. But there's a lot of magic in this definition. If you look at ask yourself the question, what is the unknown etiology? That answers the question. The definition. For some unknown reason, the immune system becomes hypersensitive and begins attacking itself. Well, let's fill in the blanks. What if we knew the reason? And what are some of the issues? And Shanti, I know if you're working with bioresonance devices, I'm sure some of these things. For me, over 25 years ago, what was the first thing that I learned about the root cause of autoimmune disease? Infectious agents. Bacteria, viruses, parasites, mold, fungus, yeast, mycoplasma infections. Toxins. Deep emotional trauma. Realistically, it's one of those three. Now you think, well, Dr. Schwartz, what about food allergies? Yeah, it could be food allergies, but are they primary allergies, secondary allergies? And why are you having a problem with, and this is another chapter in my book, elimination of allergies, primary, secondary allergies. Why would one have an allergy? What's an allergy? It's an error in the immune system. It's a glitch in the nervous system. It's a glitch in the neural computer. And on some ends, you could literally just associate, you can have overexposure. Let's say the word that's coming to mind, you can have I used to have this actually. I used to eat a banana every day, and I came to a point where I felt like I started having an issue with banana overexposure. That's why it's good to eat food seasonally and eat foods regionally, because it allows you to kind of cycle through the space and eat different foods and not be overexposed to the same thing. It keeps your nutrition balanced that way as well too. But anyhow, that's one particular example of an allergy and overexposure. Another one could be some kind of emotional link. There's another thing about overexposure. I remember one particular time when I was a little kid, I'm just talking about myself, I actually stepped on a bee's nest, like a beehive, and I got stung like, I was a little kid. It was horrible. I was like camping and it was in the dark, and I got stung like, I don't know, 20, 30 times. It's kind of embarrassing too, because I was at camp. I was at the camp, but I ended up getting stung by a bee sometime later, and I had a full-on allergic reaction. And anyway, I'm not allergic to bees anymore, but at that time, that was something. So that's what you get into a space, once again, overexposure. So there's different ways of acquiring these allergies, but once again, we're talking about the key root of these primary triggers that's going to cause what that unknown etiology is. And in my opinion, most primary and secondary allergies, like people are allergic to dogs or cats, a lot of times people are allergic to dogs because they're afraid of dogs. They either got bit by a dog, or they grew up in a household where people are afraid of dogs, or they see violence with dogs, and next thing you know, they start linking two together. That's NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. You start getting that psychological, emotional component to it. I remember a story with a woman. She was trying to lose weight, and I remember doing a test with her, and she was allergic to eggs. And I was like, "Oh, do you have an issue with eggs?" And she told me, she said she grew up on a poultry farm, and she just totally got overexposed to the whole egg thing, and she couldn't process proteins. And we fixed that in her, and she lost like a ton of weight almost immediately. So this is there is no unknown etiology. If you're treating symptoms, then unknown etiology works in the equation. But if you're trying to correct something long term, you have to, there is no such thing. And this applies to everything. If there's energy between people that need to be resolved, there's no unknown etiology. There's a root to that. And going to that root and resolving it will literally short circuit that entire neurological cascade that's happening at that moment. So coming back to fundamentals, talking about chronic systemic inflammation and why we're working with the V.I.B.E, how can we work with infectious agents? Cell cleanser, we have specific frequencies in there that's been researched that work specifically with infectious agents. And of course, that was the primary Sonic-Ceuticals I created, because that's been the cornerstone of my practice forever. I know that I can't treat chronic illness without having an effective way of treating infectious agents. And there's Rife machines out there that can work specifically with them. What is the Zapper from Holder Clark that works with infectious agents? There's different ways of working specifically with the infectious agent itself. But there's other ways of accessing it, which is basically supporting the immune system. And I kind of want to loop back around to that definition from some unknown etiology. The reason the body becomes hypersensitive, begins attacking itself. If we replace the unknown etiology part with infectious agent, with allergy, with toxic exposure, with emotional aspects. Let's say the definition again: due to infection, the immune system becomes hypersensitive and begins attacking itself. Due to environmental toxicity, the immune system becomes hypersensitive, begins attacking itself. Due to emotional trauma, the immune system becomes hypersensitive, begins attacking itself. Based off of those definitions, are you going to suppress the immune system? No. You completely short-circuited that entire definition by digging into what that unknown etiology is and exposing it. This is why we get profound results with holistic medicine. However, it's not a given. It's not a given that you can plug in that first part. And this is what really we're committed to here at Bioharmonic Technologies, is educating our customers with the ability to understand what that beginning aspect is, and creating therapeutic protocols that can utilize it, whether it's going to be a single Sonic-Ceutical like cell cleanser, or we're going to utilize a protocol that's in Vibrational or Vibrational app that works with maybe like regeneration protocol that has energy clearing for clearing negative energy out of your nervous system space and dwelling. Cell cleanser, which works with anti-inflammatory. Spectrum, that works with brain nervous system balancing. And next you know, you combine those all together, and that creates a sonic elixir for bringing the body into a better space of healing systemically. On the same note, interesting enough, since we're having this, I love when my iMate people join this call, by the way, because I've been really into my new iMate that I've been playing with, and I've been utilizing it a lot. One of the case, are you running programs right now?
Yeah.
For yourself?
For myself at the moment, yeah.
What programs are you? What program are you running?
Right now I'm on the eyes and ears. I was doing earlier on some emotional. I do a lot for my niece as well, clients.
And who are you treating?
Who am I treating? I have quite a lot of clients for it, and some of them come through Helio Healing, the healing centre, and some come from UK. Some of the other energy work I do, so they're loving anyone that's interested in energy work are really interested in biofeedback. So it's surprisingly popular. The amount of people that have heard of it is blowing my mind.
Well, I mean, biofeedback's been around since the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And really, when we look at bio, in fact, like in Germany and Austria. I'm not sure about the UK, but in Europe, I mean, there was hospitals working with radionics. You're familiar with radionics technology? If you guys aren't familiar with radionics, that in my early practice, dude, yeah, 20 plus years ago, we were using these radionic mats where you would put radionics. What it's saying is that if this is the dysfunction, we're going to give you this. If you're getting this, we're going to feed this back to you, and we're going to bounce it energetically. And they'd have these imprinting wells, and you could just put information into the wells. And you could even use like a picture, like a Polaroid picture, and put it into the machine, or you could use a prick of blood or a piece of hair, or even just their name and written down. Crazy, but I mean, this is mainstream. Okay, you guys, you're taking me into some tangents. Welcome to the mind of the ADD mind of Dr. Stephen Schwartz. But I mean, I think this is really fascinating. Dr. Albert Abrams. You guys know who Dr. Albert Abrams is? Google Dr. Albert Abrams. Doctor, in the turn of last century, in the 1900s, I think his name is Albert. Dr. Albert Abrams was the president of the American Medical Association, and he was working. So this was pre Rockefeller. Was it pre-Rockefeller? Early, it's all around that same times. This was like in the beginning, okay? Because he was an old man when he was in that time, so he had already been in practice pre that Rockefeller, kind of takeover with the pharmaceuticals. But he was treating people with a radionics bioresonance machine. And I remember researching, I used to do lectures on this topic, actually, super fascinating, reaching into the history of bioenergetic technologies. Mind-blowing. At his death, I'm not sure if he was creating these machines or something like that, but at the time of his death, I think sometime in the 20s or 30s, I heard there was over 100,000 of these Abrams machines in the world or in the US that were being utilized for healing. They were early bioresonant machines, and he was using blood samples and hair samples. And he was beloved in the medical establishment. Like, he was the top expert. And so they let him carry on, even though it was wasn't aligned with, with everything that was happening with the takeover of the allopathic medicine. But as soon as he died, they outlawed the machines, and they shut down all the practices across the United States. So, I believe that was really the beginning of the modern world 100 years ago. Okay, I'm completely diverging. What time is it here? All right, we're doing good. You guys with me so far? Give me a little.
Oh, yeah.
Give me a little yes or no. If you want to say, Dr. Schwartz, can you please stay on topic? Please put that in the chat as well too. I take feedback appropriately.
It all relates. It's all about vibration and frequency, right? Same thing.
Say it one more time.
It all relates. It's all vibration and frequency, right? Whether it's biofeedback or VIBE.
Well, I can tell you this: they both have their places. As much as I working with the V.I.B.E.S, which I love. Prior to making these, I was developing my own bioresonance machine, the ASA Balance, and it was a box. It was a pretty substantial sized box, and I had it in a backpack, and I would get on the airplane. I traveled around, with it. And I was like, why can't this thing be like in a tablet or something like that? It's kind of pre-tablet. But it was cool, and we would do seminars and trainings and all this stuff, and amazingly effective, like epically. And if you want to go check out some of these videos, go to my YouTube channel, Bioharmonic Technologies on YouTube, and go to Dr. Schwartz's vintage videos and watch. I think we have 100 videos of my old patients that were utilized, that were basically healed, amazing healings through my biofeedback technology that I used to utilize. Now with the iMate being just in a laptop is amazing. And we've been able to, right now, some of the patients I'm working with a dear friend of mine that has leukemia, end-stage leukemia. And he was about to die twice. And I think just out of the nature of my care for my friend and his will to live, I'm in there doing IMates. Next thing you know, something happens. But I got to tell you, he's here in San Diego. And when I moved to Tulum, Mexico, I left him a V.I.B.E. And it was just collecting dust sitting, and I was like, bro, you have a V.I.B.E. And he's like, oh, can you come over and set it up? So I just was here and I set it up for him in his house. And I created 3 custom protocols for him for his leukemia, which I'm happy to share with you guys. And I just told him, I said, just vibe all the time. I was like, just lay on the freaking vibe. And dude, if you can't lay on it, just play it. Just play the Sonic-Ceuticals into the space. And very interesting. Okay, well, we portaled twice. If you guys are keeping track, we portaled we portaled twice on this topic of conversations. I'm just gonna go with it because I think this is important. Phil, keep me on track. What I want to come back to is I want to talk about the next, where we are from 100 years ago, from Dr. Abrams to where we're going into the next 100 years.
Well, Stephen, I mean, the thing I'll tell you, buddy, is Shanti, I think, said it right. Actually, everything that you're talking about ties in because, it was coined that Tesla said it, but, who knows? It could have been, I looked into what Keeley, I think was his name, about the same time, that everything is energy, frequency, and vibration. So, you're definitely, in my opinion, not getting off track at all. It's all the same thing. You're just coming at it from different points of view. It's the same thing. And that's another reason you mentioned your book, if I may say this earlier, that Shanti, yeah, it's a great read because one of the things that I loved about that book is exactly what I just said, is that in that book, what you do is you approach the whole concept of being human and ill and, allergies and immune and everything from every point of view: water, the environment, what's going on in your head, intuition, getting out of your brain, as you said earlier, which there's a wonderful book for that called The Untethered Soul. And, it's a great book about getting out of your head and all of that's like Shanti said, I don't feel like you're getting off track at all. It's all part of the same ball of wax, so to speak.
Well, I'm just talking about 3 different veins at the same time, so that's where my brain's at. But thank you for that, Phil. So real quick, let me just okay, I want to finish with soul, and then we'll finish with the rah for the future. I think that's good. And I also, guys, don't leave, I have a surprise right around the corner of where I'm sitting. I have a surprise, so don't leave this call if you want to see the surprise. Talking with my dear friend Sol Salam, Randall Krause, who actually is a producer of The Journey. If you guys listen to The Journey, I produced that album with Sol. He's an amazing percussionist, musician, and now he is in a very, very bad battle for his life with a rare form of leukemia that he's been dealing with for the last 5 years. But I remember seeing him when I came back, when I saw him for the first time a couple months ago. I came back, I was in El Salvador, and right after the IMate conference, and he was the first person I used on the IMate. I called Dr. Flannery and I said, can you help me with this patient? I don't even know how to use the software. And he was about to die. He was in the ICU. His mom said he wasn't going to make it the weekend. Next thing you know, he was released into a private room and released to go home, and he was able to have his birthday, and I was there for his birthday, April 28th this year, which was a really special day. And since then, he's been in a fight of just transfusions and this and that, and they sent him home, and then he spent 52 days in the hospital getting transfusions every day. And they were about to do a bone marrow transplant. He's like, I don't want to do a bone marrow transplant. And we got him some dandelion root, straight dandelion root you can pick out of the backyard. And we said, dude, we want you to start like making dandelion root smoothies. Just get that in your body. So chlorine dioxide, which we're still having some issues getting into his system just because we're needing him to get it intravenously. So we're looking for a nurse that can do that in the San Diego area. And what else? Something else that's escaping my mind. But anyhow, we ended up bringing, but the issue was, and then I'm sitting there, the thing about the iMate is I'm kind of limited to the iMate because I have to do it, you know? Which is great with the V.I.B.E, because once again, he's got the tablet, hit the play button, laid down, you got it. So I was able to get to his place, resurrect that V.I.B.E from whatever, when I left 5 years ago. And the protocol that I ended up giving him, one was, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Cell cleanser, of course. Visceral healing. Universal V.I.E, stem cell activation. Shoot. Energy clearing, I think I put in there. I'd have to go back and check, but I put this together for him. There's eight tracks in there for the blood healing one, and I said, dude, just fucking listen to this all the time. And anyhow, I've known Soul for as long as I've been in California. He's one of my best friends. He's got a bit of a anger thing. It's got a bit of a I know and nobody can tell me otherwise kind of thing. And his mother, unsolicited to me, came up to me, says, can you do something with Soul's anger? With Randall's anger. He's like, he just lashes out at me uncontrollably. I know that that's an issue. And to be honest with you, I know that that's a root cause to his cancer. It's a root cause. And if you want to heal yourself from cancer, you need to look at the underlying dark shadows of your existence and heal that. And what you refuse to look at, what you refuse to see, what you refuse to heal is why you have your cancer. Period. Mm-hmm. Period. 100%. So I invite, and so when his mom told me that, I said, let me go make an emotional protocol. And it's interesting because I started asking him, I went through cellular attunement. I said, Randall, what do you think? You know, I started kind of going through it, and he's got this inflammation in his ear. He's having a hard time hearing. So it was hard. He wasn't giving me the feedback that I wanted. I was just trying to, he didn't understand what I was asking him for the cellular attunement. So I'm like, screw it. Let me just intuitively go through and figure out what I need to do. And I put together an emotional treatment. And you know what? This was really interesting. I started with energy clearing. And then I think I put in like 4 different emotional relationships off of cellular attunement that I felt were resonant with him. And then I cleared it. I finished with an energy clearing. Bookended. Cleared it. Emotional stuff. Cleared it. I think everybody got did we switch times? It's still, because everybody's joining this call now, but the call's about to end. The call was like an hour ago.
It was the text message we got. It said that it was starting now.
Really? Okay, well, thank you. Well, we've had Shanti, has this been a good call?
Amazing.
Phil?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, great.
Excellent.
We're happy you guys are here. It's recording, and you guys are all joining. I'm happy you're here. I'm happy you're responding to the text message. We'll talk about making sure we get that right. My text message that I get was that the VIBETRIBE starting an hour before this happened. So I'm on time. So let me just figure out what's up with the rest of our programming. But then we also made another protocol for his hearing because he just recently lost his hearing and we're not sure why. So I went in spectrum, visceral healing, and then I added in cell cleanser. And I think there was a 4th, which I think I put in universal V.I.E. So I just gave him those 3 protocols, and I said, you just pick any of these 3 and just play them all the time. Because in the lieu of what I can't do on the iMate, because guys, in the same side of this whole thing, My mother is experiencing mental, like early signs of dementia. My stepfather just died of congestive heart failure, and I have my friend dying of leukemia. Like I can only do so many things, with this program at one time, and I'm not sitting at my office and just treating people all day. So what I love is when I'm flying, it's the best time to do iMate sessions because it's like, I can just sit there and just treat. So I actually like long airplane flights, so I can just get caught up on all those things. But in the meantime, this is where the vibe comes in because it takes me out of it. It takes you out of it. It just puts it back into the user. And this is the power, because here's what I know. One thing that I'm gonna say about cancer, about the oncology industry, when they know that when you get diagnosed with cancer, they say, let's go. Chemo, radiation. We're going to put you on a schedule. You're going to come in 3 times, 4 times, 5 times a week, and we're going to blast you over the next boom, 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 whatever that schedule is going to be. And we're just going to irradiate and chemicalize and kill that cancer. I don't agree with the outcome, but I do agree with the intensity. You have to meet the intensity of the condition that is being presented in front of you. It's a battle. Okay, it's like if you're getting into a ring for a boxing match. If you got Mike Tyson there, if you want to knock Mike Tyson out, you got to show up. You got to show up to knock out the champ, or he's going to knock you out. And you got to do that. If cancer's showing up, cancer does not just happen. Cancer is a slow, very slow build up over time. Now it can happen quick. Once it kind of manifests, it can go very quickly and you can die very quickly depending on the aggressiveness of the cancer. But the insult that is setting it up, okay, I'm striking this, changing. It depends on the root cause. It comes back to that root cause. Like if you have Chernobyl or some kind of, mega chemical exposure to something, people can get okay, well, wow, I'm changing multiple things. The input coming in and the strength of the host. How sensitive is the host? And how strong is the host? Because normally, even if you have toxicity coming into your body, whether it be from infection or from environmental toxin, from emotional stuff, if you have a strong host, the host should be able to absorb and heal it and release it. Now, over time, how many times are you constantly bombarding the body with the trauma to where eventually it's like, I can't do this anymore. Boom, cancer, boom, autoimmune disease, boom, something long-term that your body just collapses. Just to catch you guys all up on this conversation, we're talking about the effects of chronic systemic inflammation. And I was hoping to spin into the other pillar, which was cellular memory, which we're not going to talk about here today because this is enough. This is a good topic. But we're talking about chronic systemic inflammation and everything that feeds into it. The definition of it, from unknown etiology, the immune system is hypersensitive, begins attacking itself. It's not an unknown etiology. It comes from infection, toxins, emotional trauma, and being able to change your environment with Sonic-Ceuticals allows us to reprogram the biochemistry that creates, change the biochemistry that creates these things, that creates the biochemistry that creates the disease process. This is where you guys are familiar with I'm writing it. Epigenetics. The environment dictates the way your genes express themselves. Epigenetics. Wow. We have a device that can change our environment, change our vibe, change our life. This is an epigenetic technology, the V.I.B.E. You guys are keeping me into, everybody's joining the call. That's good. So, Depends on the day, guys. You get me speaking on some topics. I can talk for hours. Sometimes I'm kind of like, when is this hour over? But right now you got me going in some nice topics that I like talking about. So I wanted to go back. We were talking about my friend that we're dealing with cancer, and there's been other people on these calls that are dealing with cancer patients, and they've had really fantastic results. And guys, we don't treat cancer. Please, 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 please. If you see, I invite each and every one of you to see as many cancer patients as you can possibly imagine with the V.I.B.E, but we do not treat cancer. We can influence people's epigenetic expression. We can balance their nervous system. We can bring their body into parasympathetic. These are all really, really good things for people that have cancer, but we don't treat cancer. And these are some of the areas we're going to treat. Now, what will happen as an effect, potentially, the cancer could get better. I hope this happens with my friend. He's not in a good place. I think he requires a lot more input. He needs more intervention. He needs more resources. Because you know what? If you're in the ring with Mike Tyson, the chances of you getting knocked out probably pretty high. So if you're going to win that battle, you got to be ready. We'll see. God bless you, soul. Okay, so I wanted to finish up another aspect that you guys missed earlier. We talked about Dr. Albert Abrams, the president of the American Medical Association back in like 1900, that was using bioresonance devices. And at the time of his death, I think there was like 100,000 of these machines in the United States treating people. And when he died, it was outlawed and never be seen from again. If anybody's in the Los Angeles area, in the like West Side area, there's this store called Obscura. I think it's called Obscura. It's in Santa Monica. They have all kinds of weird oddities and stuff like that. They actually have an Albert Abrams device. I don't think anybody knew what it was. I saw, I was like, wow, I can't believe they have one of these devices. I don't think it works, but it was like a, picture 1900, it was a thing. It was like a big thing, some kind of weird electrical devices. But dude, that was pseudoscience. That was quackery medicine. That's the stuff, guys, that what we are indoctrinated into now about that you're a quack, you're a pseudoscience, you're a witch doctor. All of that vernacular, all of that narrative happened at the hands of propaganda that was spread at the end of last century by the Rockefellers and the Carnegies that were pumping lots of money into this next evolution of healthcare, really to push their agenda. And they got the money and they got the influence and they made it happen. And what I wanted to share with you is a couple things. And I want to preface by what I'm going to say is that I am apolitical. I'm not Democratic, I'm not Republican. I don't have any views one way or the other of these things, but I'm just observing what's happening in the world. And so what I'm going to share with you is bipartisan. I think that's the word. I think that means no parties, right? But what I am seeing is that COVID, whether you call it the pandemic or the plandemic, whether it was known conspiracy, any of these things, whatever you want to think about it, what the number one thing that it did do is it made a mockery of the medical system. It really exposed the medical system for what it is, which they really didn't have an answer for what to do except give you a vaccine. And it is incredible. I also would like to state that RFK Jr. and him leading this crusade against exposing the effects of vaccines and getting them exposed and now taken off the schedule for kids is beyond my level of comprehension, and something that if you guys are not completely celebrating this is a massive win in the shift of humanity. I pray for him to be safe and doesn't fall in the path of his family. But you know what? He's not afraid to go down the path, and he's exposing it all. And I think we're living in a time where we're able to really hear it and receive it. And I feel that there's more insulation against, we'll see. I hope he stays safe. But he's making really big changes in the world of breaking down the things that are fundamentally wrong with the allopathic model, and really opening the door for all of us, because everything that we were doing, we were the quacks. Oh, I got, by the way, I got written up on Quack Watch before. Kind of honored, to be honest with you. I remember like somebody sent it to me and I read it and I was like, wow, that sounds pretty accurate actually. So I'm sure you can find it on Google. If you put in Quack Watch, I don't know, I haven't read it in whatever, 10, 15 years, but I'm on there. So I'm kind of honored by it. So check it out. I'm on Quack Watch. But the quackery is the work that is injecting some kind of detergent into our skins with infectious processes and activating our immune system and then reprogramming our DNA. It's dangerous. And what I'm excited, there's two things. One I'm excited about is that there's so many people with large amounts of money that want to see this world transform into the utopia that we think it can be, that we want it to be, and they can fund it. And on the flip side of that, it's scary to think somebody like Bill Gates is really writing the narrative of this planet, which he's the modern day Rockefeller. And, I was watching some videos about what they're planning, the 2030 plan of really how they're trying to reduce the population of this planet and enslave humanity. And they're talking about it openly. I would invite all of us here. We're doing the work of the future. And continue to do it and dig in at the highest level, because these are the tools of liberation. These are the tools of liberation, whatever the future has in store for us. And the more we dig in now, the more we set up our infrastructure for the next 5 years is, I think, going to be really important. And from a healthcare perspective, it's all sound, light, frequency, and vibration. It's all, this is going to counteract whatever could be coming into our systems, whatever is going to be fed into our foods, whatever is going to be put into the air, the water. We're going to be able to neutralize it and balance it and detoxify it through bioresonant techniques and technologies that you guys are all utilizing on this call. And I'm committed to elevating that to the higher level as well too. And I want to share with you, because you guys are all jumping on, I want to apologize. Leslie, if you are interested in coming to VIBE-Fest, anybody else want to come to VIBE-Fest? It's kind of last call, because we have some decisions to make about VIBE-Fest. So please, I need to be spoken to today about that, to be honest with you. So if Leslie, do you have my phone number? Did she leave? Is she here? I think she left. Oh, Hizer. Hizer, can you get Leslie's contact information? I think she left.
Actually, I would like your contact information as well. This is Cheryl, Dr. Jamont.
I see you.
Sorry, I just was finishing patients.
All right, guys, I don't give out this number all the time, but you're in my inner circle.
Because I actually want to talk to you about V.I.B.E.S.
Okay.
Are you still in Jersey?
I'm in California. I'm in Marina Del Rey. And guys, what I want to share with you is I spent 10 days with my mother following the death of my stepfather and doulaing, basically being a death doula to my stepfather. I never saw that happening. And then being there for my mother during the funeral and afterwards and getting her set up. She's got a new road ahead of her. And guys, she vibes every day, by the way. My mother vibes every day. And she's living in a senior center, and we started vibing other people in the senior center. And I was like, wow, I think my mom's going to become my top affiliate because it's necessary in these centers. I also would like to share with you that I'm learning that a lot of these senior centers are looking into longevity. It's not like an old age home like it used to be. They're actually they're kind of supporting the baby boomer industry and looking to create these newer, higher vibe kind of places, like where my mom is or was living. So really cool experience about that. So yeah, this is my phone number. Hizer, also, if you can reach out to Hizer, he can help facilitate these phone calls with this. But I came out here because what I'm going to on Saturday is the first, it's a vibroacoustic symposium where they've invited all the vibroacoustic industry to come together under one roof. And for the most part, we all know each other, and we've all it's been a bit of I can't say it's been the highest vibe. So this will be an interesting symposium, but it's going to be great. My friend Torkum, who's been in the industry for a long time, put this whole thing together, and we are this is our first official launch. You guys are seeing our new website. You guys have seen our new website. Have you guys seen our new website, thevibe.life? We're building it out. We got a full page ad in the Biohack Yourself magazine, and we are in that as well too. But this is our first official launch. We have all new music menus. We have all new vibes, and they're in the Vibe Mobile. But I'm going to show you right now. We have the brand new Vibe Go, and from the surface it looks similar, different colors, different branding, cool stuff here. We've upgraded all of our technology, and we've done a lot of changes on the internal aspects of the internal structures of the Vibe. We also have the 3.1, which is now the Vibe Pro, which I don't have set up here. We're still testing them. We're going to be debuting them. And then we have another Vibe which has never been seen in nature before. It's literally coming out of our factory today with some new amazing upgrades that literally I've been working on for 3 years. 3 years. So we're going to be debuting all that stuff at the Vibroacoustic Symposium here in Los Angeles this weekend. If anybody's in Los Angeles, I recommend coming to this event. It's going to be really interesting. I'm sitting on a panel. We're going to have a booth. And this thing, we've upgraded. We have different transducers and different internal stuff. We've moved the positioning of some of these aspects. And you guys might be familiar with Nick Taylor. He's my general manager and engineer. And we've been working diligently on these projects for quite a while. And yeah, we have our first 50 vibes coming out. And guys, just to let you know, all the people that was at the BioResin Symposiums here that bought the Vibes, we didn't have a timeline for this. We knew it was kind of coming, but we did not this rebrand and the new vibes happened super quick, like down, and we just jumped on it, like, let's just do it. And so that's where we are. But I gotta let you know, when you lay in the field of harmonic resonance, you're gonna get the results. Are we gonna be evolving this technology? Yeah, we're committed to it. And we're gonna be coming out with more music. We have a plan for our app that hopefully we could get done by V.I.B.E Fest. That'd be great. If not, then by the end of the year. But we kind of need your support. You guys are essentially our investors. So we have a round of 50 vibes that we are looking to get into the world as soon as possible and keep going with this. So I know everybody on this call has purchased a vibe. We're offering some pre-launch sales if anybody's interested in getting another vibe, or if you have any customers that might be wanting to get their own vibe. Right now we're offering a pre-launch discount for any of our vibes, custom vibes as well. We're offering $1,000 off a custom vibe and $500 off any of the Goes or the Pros. And we can put the link. Actually, Hizer, do you have that pre-launch link? Do you have that you can post? I invite you guys to copy and paste this link and just keep it for your own. Share it with your community. We're going to keep the pre-launch going probably for the next, whatever. We want to move through the first 40 of these 50 rounds at this discounted rate. So if you know anybody interested in these, because remember, especially with the iMate, you're doing one-on-one sessions with them, but there's only, unfortunately, we're kind of bounded into, we're working in quantum, but we're bounded by the three-dimensional matrix. Like Dr. Cheryl, there's only one of you. Shanti, there's only one of you. There's only one Dr. Schwartz in this three-dimensional matrix. And having a tool that your customers, clients, patients can utilize on a higher frequency level is beneficial. So I would invite you to potentially be open to, saying, hey, we're doing these technologies, put these in your home, and then we can work with protocols, and it can support all the other modalities that you guys are already utilizing. You can claim discount upon.
Actually, I have a question.
Yes, go for it.
So the symposium in LA this weekend, is that offered? Can we participate virtually? Can we buy tickets and participate virtually?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know. And the reality of it is, dude, okay, so it's a vibroacoustic symposium. Like, it's vibration and sound. I do know Torkum does these like live frequency journeys, so he's going to be hosting one of them. What I'd recommend doing is, I'm actually meeting with Torkum today. We're going to his to the place. The venue is super cool. It's like an artistic studio. They got all kinds of cool stuff there. So I'm gonna go. Torkum's a long-term friend of mine. I'm gonna go just meet with him. I'm gonna find if they're doing any kind of live streaming situation, and if so, I'll just post it in the owners chat. So so just kind of keep your eyes on that.
Great, thanks.
You're welcome. Okay. Mandy, are you in LA? Okay. It's in downtown LA. I'm gonna post something specifically in the owners chat. And yeah, come check it out. Come see the debut of our new technology. Should be interesting, and I'm curious to see what other people in the vibroacoustic space, what they're up to. So interesting enough, it's Saturday, 1 o'clock, 1 to 8 o'clock or something like that, 1 to something. And then there might be a Sunday, we might do an invite only Sunday thing, depending on what happens. I'm going to have a conversation with Torkum here today about it, but I wanted to just share, not sure what I was going to share. Okay, well, let's stay in touch. Send me you have my number, send me a text, and I'll make sure to, I'd love to connect with you while I'm here in Los Angeles. We're really trying to pull together our own community, and I'm going to be here for the next 10 days. So I might put together like a Los Angeles meetup. So anybody that's in Los Angeles, I want to see if we can all get together with Vibes. We have a new Vibe owner and a really amazing addiction center right down the street from the Hollywood Bowl, right in downtown. Well, I guess that's not considered downtown. I don't know. Right in the heart of Hollywood. It's an addiction. It's Hollywood addiction rehab, and they have a vibe. They have a beautiful space. In fact, we might even host this meetup there. Be a perfect place to host it. And I'd love to see if we can get everybody together in the Los Angeles area. And I'm staying in Marina Del Rey. Oh, I'm in Marina Del Rey. Send me a text.
Steven, just a reminder for VIBE.Fest that just to inform you all guys, and I will post in the Vibe community as well. Like we have amazing discounts going on and a lot of packages and multiple payment plans as well. You can buy straight or you can buy in installment. We have custom plans as well, like in 3 installment up to even 12 installments. We accept like crypto, WeChat, Cash Pay app, Affirm, Afterpay, a lot of methods, flexible payment apps options. So you can, it can make easier for you to choose the options. And if like you refer to someone, so we have special discount for that as well. I'm gonna share that link in the web community so you guys can check that out. Okay, and in case of any confusion, you can contact Steven or me. We are both in web community, and I also have dropped my number. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Izzer. Listen, guys, we've been on the fence with. I'm just going to be completely transparent with you. We wanted to get a lot more people at this event. I was actually on the verge of potentially canceling it just because it's a lot of work putting together. But we've been getting a lot of last minute people wanting to commit to this, and the location really needs like commitments to who's coming to this. It's not, I mean, it's an all-inclusive event in Tulum. So there's a lot of preparation to it. And it's not one of those things where just like last minute, I mean, you can do it last minute, but we need to get some solid commitments or we're, in order for this thing to go. And just on the verge, it's like, wow, you know what, like, I don't know if we're going to even move forward with this training. We've gotten a flurry of people saying they all want to come to it now. So if you're serious about coming, please book your reservations pretty much immediately, like this weekend. Because we're going to make a decision on VIBE.Fest with that. I personally would like to have it. I'd love to showcase everything that's going on with it, but we need the participation of our community. And if that participation is not going to be there, then we're going to table it for another time. But this is going to be an amazing experience if we can, for everybody that's going to come, and you won't be disappointed. With that being said, Mandy, feel free to send me a text. And I look forward to talking to you guys soon. Thanks for vibing with us.